You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly, live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. Good evening, Jackie Ray. It's always good to see you. Something we've discussed at length, and I think we've been ahead of the curve as far as media, big picture, as far as gambling and how it's going to undermine what we were talking about within the matrix of professional sports.
Right.
But now it's undermining college sports. You probably have seen the story by now. The NCAA gambling scandal has widened with overlapping cases involving, at this point, 6 named schools in a quote-unquote coordinated effort by a group to fix college basketball games. These are players who used to play at these schools. They're not named, but the schools are named: Eastern Michigan, Temple, Arizona State, New Orleans, North Carolina A&T, and Mississippi Valley State. All I know is if you name 6, there might be 26.
I was going to say, yeah, basically name everybody. And I am not at all surprised about this, because we've said this time and time again. When you start marrying these two entities, it's just a matter of time. And you're talking about young people. I can't ever say that I did anything nefarious when I was playing ball in high school and things of that nature, but I definitely would make wagers, if you will, against. This has been a thing. Kids do this. It's a fun thing to do. It's a little bit of trash talk. I could see this easily elevating into something else because of the financial payout. We are a greedy people.
Well, there are a number of things here. There's the financial payout. There is the acceptability of gambling in culture now. There are various apps. I don't want to call them by name. I'm not demonizing the apps, but I am saying that gambling is looked upon very differently in our culture, much more accepted. And there's so much money flowing through college sports specifically because of NIL, name, image, and likeness. It's not as odd, for example, to see players driving up in Mercedes-Benz or having all sorts of clothes and everything, because it's not an academic, athletic NCAA violation anymore. There's a lot of money changing hands. So yes, they're going to start using it.
Exactly right. It was a very slippery slope when you started marrying these two entities anyway. But I just didn't know. I guess what my confusion is about this, I'm never confused by the headlines. Like, the headlines just kind of make sense. I'm a little confused as how everybody's like, I can't believe this is happening. It's human nature. People have been doing this before it was legal, so most certainly they're going to do it now that it is.
This is directly from the story. The investigation is now between the NCAA and the players directly. This is not just a University of New Orleans issue. It's a national issue. This is going on in a lot of places. The NCAA investigation at Eastern Michigan also dates back to January. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. NCAA issued requests for cell phone data for 5 individuals whose names are redacted. Eastern Michigan had 2 games flagged by gambling watchdogs last season. And, again, that's what they know. That's what they suspect. There's probably other less obvious, more subtle instances, questionable results or performances that might raise people's eyebrows, but maybe they just got away with it. Some of it, but from what we can see, it's probably pervasive. And for me, I have to ask myself the question, are we looking at legitimate competition, or are we looking at something closer to the WWE?
Oh, I've been saying closer to the WWE, and because now you've given people an incentive to do wrong. And I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but the second you started having, it was a trickle down effect, the NFL, the NBA. Now you're seeing like you said, don't want to name the companies, on the sides of arenas or in stadiums and things of that nature. So you're advertising it. So you can't say, do as I say, not as I do. It's an unacceptable thing. So I've been saying this, and unless you're going to, how would you even police this? That's my bigger question. How would you police this? Because you can't.
Not until after the fact.
Right. There's nothing you can do. And every time you police it, however you police it, whatever things you put in play to kind of monitor what people are doing, they will think of something else.
And you can, when I say after the fact, it's only when you look back and see something that seems odd, out of place, or someone went 1 for 20, or, all of a sudden only played for 2 minutes, something which is out of character or against their pattern, doesn't raise anyone's eyebrows. And so you have to look back
Right.
You can't catch it in advance.
Yeah. So now if I do have an injury, are you suddenly looking at me and saying, okay, you have this injury. You've never really been injured like this before. Now we've got to start watching it's impossible to police, like you said, until after the fact. These students aren't even students anymore. So what's the penalty going to be?
Well, for them, it depends. If you can prove that they actually fix games, which is a tall order and that's a heavy lift, yeah, then there are legal consequences. But the burden of proof, I mean, beyond reasonable doubt, you have to prove intent.
Right. You have to prove that they knew not only that they tried to rig something, that they knew it would work. It's just too slippery. It's too slippery. But it's,
And after a while, you have to know that because there's so much money, there likely is some degree of cheating, some degree of betting and gambling, and some degree of dishonest sportsmanship. That's the only thing.
So do you create a statistician that is now looking at every single game? And
I'm sure. I'm sure there's probably statistician algorithms looking for aberrations, anything which seems out of the ordinary. But again, that's looking back. You have to see it after the fact.
Right.
Someone has to deviate from an established norm for it to catch, to end up on someone's radar, to raise suspicion. So yeah, I believe that we've talked about this, there is a huge sport ruining, no exaggeration, scandal on the horizon regarding betting because it is so pervasive.
Right.
Before what they're telling us is pervasive and it's uncontrollable.
Yeah. And then you can end up with players who might have an injury, or maybe they had a bad day because they lost someone in their family. And now it looks like it's too slippery of a slope. Maybe you actually are legitimately hurt or something like that. But now on that certain day.
Well, it could be more subtle than that. It could be just forwarding information. You might have access to a locker room and know that, hey, there's a big game today between such and such and such and such, but I know the center's not going to play. Why? Because either I am the center or I might be a trainer or someone in the locker room.
Now
who
you got to look at media.
Right.
Got to look at media because we're in the locker room.
And so that information can be passed on, not even from the player directly.
Right.
And then that could all of a sudden be used for all sorts of money being placed on a game, a player, a prop bet.
It's a lot of people that you have to round up and start monitoring now. I don't know how they do this.
A couple of NBA players got hit last year.
John Tay Porter was banned.
Malik
talked about it.
Malik Beasley.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about him too.
And those are the only ones we know of.
Right. Those are the ones who got caught.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to get real bad.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to tell you, I told you so when it does. When we come back, and I don't want to connect these dots, but I think there's a conversation to be had because Bruce Pearl, Auburn basketball coach, venerable coach, has been around for decades, has been very political in his pronouncements as of late. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, said he's stepping down a month before the season starts. Now, there have been rumors about him possibly running for political office, but the timing seems suspect. I want to talk about that when we come back. KFI AM 640, we're going Beyond the Box Score with Jackie Ray. We're live everywhere. On YouTube, you can see Jackie Ray and see me and see the whole show. And we're live on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Later with Mo Kelly, Beyond the Box Score with Jackie Ray. We're live everywhere on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. Bruce Pearl, if you know college basketball, he's a very, very famous basketball coach. He's been pretty successful. He spent most of his time, I think, at University of Tennessee with the Volunteers. He had 3 Sweet 16 appearances, 1 Elite 8 run. Never won a championship, but he's in that upper echelon of coaches. Listen to this. He was fired in 2011 after being charged by the NC2A with unethical conduct after lying during an investigation into recruiting violations. I'm going to put a pin in that because now he is the coach of Auburn, or at least for the next 45 minutes. He's the coach of Auburn, and then he just announced that he's stepping down as coach after 11 seasons. And you think, well, coaches retire, coaches, quit, but not
this
weeks.
Abruptly.
If you don't know the college basketball schedule, October 15th is when the season officially begins, where teams can practice together and start having exhibitions. If you don't know, the coach can't be around the team at this time. They can't practice yet, not until October 15th. Well, October 15th is only 25 days away.
Yep.
Why would you step down now unless if there's something serious involved? I don't see any rumors about some sort of illness. I don't see any rumors about anything, which gives me great pause, because usually if it's innocuous, then you'd have some sort of explanation to that fact. My concern, Jackie Ray, and I would love to get your thoughts on this. My concern is that it's a combination of negative things. It's a combination of maybe something that he said, because he's very outspoken. Right. Or something that he's done in regard to maybe recruiting violations, which has thrown the program into disarray. You saw the same story as me. Anything come to mind?
So the first thing I thought was illness, because I was like, oh, this is just too abruptly. This wouldn't happen if there wasn't something wrong. I didn't immediately think anything nefarious. But to your point, the more I read, because as journalists, you know that you're going to put, if this is your beat, you know a little something. And if you'd heard anything, you would have put that in there. Right. And so since I didn't see even sources say this might be anything like that, then his statement was kind of long that he made himself. So that made me feel like the organization is protecting their brand, and they're trying to make it look like this is a great thing. I'm not thinking about politics. I've got this other position now. So everything is still great with me in the organization. I feel like they're protecting their brand from something.
For those who don't know, there is a rumor, or at least was a rumor, that he was going to, given his political pronouncements, that he was possibly going to run for senator, state of Alabama, just like Tommy Tuberville, who was once the Auburn football coach, who then ended up running for Senate, that Bruce Pearl might do the same thing. My thing is, this is not the time to do that as far as time in the season, because you're leaving the program in a lurch if it's his decision. You're leaving the players that you recruited in a lurch. It leaves enough bad taste in people's mouths. That's not how you want to launch a Senate campaign.
Right. And so because it wasn't anything to do with his political campaigns, he didn't say anything about illness. And this would have been the perfect time, too. I am so excited to hand this to my son as he continues this legacy and we move forward in this family business, if you will. You could have tied it into that in some way. And the fact that you didn't.
And it's abrupt.
It's very, very abrupt. And you have to know that fans of the team, fans of NCAA, they're going to notice that this isn't quite right, because everybody immediately went to social media and said, oh, he's probably just doing blah, blah, blah. He's going to do his Senate run. That's really what it is. And he said very clearly that's not it. So now we're all wondering. And because we're wondering, in my opinion, at least in my experience, when you don't tell the truth as to why this happened so abruptly, why this couldn't happen at a later time, why this had to happen when young people are looking at you and they believe in you and they believe in the program, and that's why they're here, and now you've turned their back on them. You've either done something,
right,
or you've done something.
It's just a matter of what done something. I mean, it'd be different if he said, I'm stepping down, and also now I'm throwing my hat into the ring to be Alabama's next senator. That would make more sense to say, I'm abruptly resigning and nobody knows what the frick I'm getting ready to do. And it says to me, just from what I've known about athletic programs and violations, usually they want to get that coach out of there as soon as possible. So whatever comes down is attached to the coach and not the program going forward.
But they're keeping him in a capacity, though.
I don't know.
That's what's throwing me off. Because I do think they're trying to protect the brand, and then they buried that. That was deep in the story, that he's moving to another capacity, and then his son is there. I don't know what this is, but it's something. I would even have appreciated it if he said, someone close to me and my family is ill, and I want to tend to them and take care of them. Because what's the position he's getting?
It's ceremonial or something.
It's a ceremonial position. It's not like a big deal. But say something. And you've been in this business for too long to know that that this is the good time to not say anything.
And it's okay if you're going to be running for Senate. It really is okay. In fact, people think that that's your likely next progression because you've been so outspoken in support of the president and his policies and other issues unrelated to basketball. We always talk about the intersection of sports and politics and how people want to keep politics out of sports. Bruce Pearl Yeah, Bruce Pearl was not one of those. He brought all his politics into the sport of basketball. And then now to have nothing to say when he's always had something to say.
It feels nefarious.
It feels like somebody's in trouble.
Because now, even if this is, I'm just dotting every I and crossing every T before I go into my political arena, any political reporter worth their salt is going to be like, but we asked you, you said no, now you started your career with a lie.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. We have to do this again next week.
We'll definitely do it.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We are live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and on YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. And let me start with this. This is not a top movie, but it's something that really jumped out at me. And when I see a movie like Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, and I'm a kid who grew up, saw, This Is Spinal Tap. It was like 1984. And I didn't think that the movie deserved or needed a sequel. But hey, there are enough fans out there. It got a sequel. It actually opened in 1,900 theaters last week. Last week was his first week. This was his second weekend. The budget was $23 million. After 2 weeks in theaters, and you had 1,900 theaters, that was a sizable amount, it's only grossed $2 million worldwide. Which made me which made me again think, like, wait a minute, who was asking for this? And this would have been perfect. I haven't seen it, but I suspect it would have been perfect for streaming. Why would you force that into 1,900 movie theaters and also have to share the profits with the movie theaters as opposed to just putting it on streaming? $23 million budget. They're not going to get 1/8 of that back.
Yeah, that's a write-off.
And it brought in a whole $361,000 this weekend. The whole weekend, $300,000 across. They lost 500 theaters, so about maybe 1,300 theaters only brought in.
It wasn't a blockbuster the first time around, so
it wasn't. It's a cult classic. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
but it wasn't something that people were clamoring like, oh, we got to have a sequel. We need to have an update and go watch it in theaters. I don't know who made that decision, but it didn't make any sense. But anyhow, that just jumped out at me. Coming in number one this week again, Demon Slayer.
Absolutely.
Brought in another $17 million. Its gross is now up to, if this page ever loads, is $555 million. It's crossed the $500 million mark.
Yeah.
And I know, well, let me be clear. It's crossed the $500 million mark, having almost nothing to do with the United States market. $450 million of its $555 million total haul is international. So it's not a hit here. It's still number one.
It is a huge hit here by comparison to anime film releases. It is the highest grossing anime film released in the U.S., and it is one of the first to be released exclusively on IMAX. Like when they put this one out, it was like, we are doing this for IMAX, and it's one of the first ones to really get that real big push by Japan. And so this is a really, really, really big picture, especially for a market, a film community that is really struggling because there are so many strikes and there's such strife within Japan for the anime community as far as getting these films done and getting them made and put out and all that, series and everything. This is a major accomplishment.
Coming in number two this week, you heard Mark Ronner review it on Friday as part of the Ronner Report. Him, starring Marlon Wayans. I've not seen it yet. I've heard from a number of people who have seen it. Mostly disappointment. They thought it had potential, but then it just gets weird and predictable in the third act. Would you agree with that, Mark?
Well, it is weird, but not good weird. It's like incoherent weird. Mm-hmm. I think I compared it to a cologne commercial with spatter.
I hear good things as far as Marlon Wayans' performance, though.
Oh, he's terrific in it. He looks like he's having fun, but that ain't enough. It's a huge disappointment. I couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. I got to be honest with you. It was painful to sit through.
It's hard for me to understand when you have someone like Jordan Peele who may put his name on something like this. You would think that as a backstop, he wouldn't allow certain things to happen, or the movie has to be on a certain level for his name to be on it. And from what I hear from other people, it doesn't measure up to what you expect from a Jordan Peele production.
It is so disappointing and just such a stinker, like an outright stinker. I think I mentioned that it's going to go on my worst of the year list.
I mean, Jordan Peele, he is in the business of putting his name on films for projects for people that he believes otherwise would not get the chance nor the backing. And he believes in the art. He's like, you are an artist, and it is for the fans to see your creation, or maybe they will not. But if you believe in it and I believe in you, let's see what it does. But just know I'm putting my name on this because no one else will, because of who you are.
I salute him if that is his motivation. I don't think it helps his brand. It's in 3,100 theaters, so that's wide release. Brought in $13 million. That's let me look up the budget real quick.
It's so bad that if
$27 million. You don't make his money back.
Well, I mean, so okay, something like the movie you just talked about, the
Spinal Tap
sequel, that might have a long cult film shelf life. This one is going to disappear fast, I guarantee it. And it really forces you to wonder if Get Out was just a fluke.
It's to the point. I don't think Justin Peele directed this, so I don't.
No, he produced it.
Yeah, so I won't hold him to that same standard. But I will say that Jordan Peele needs a hit, or he ends up going the way of M. Night Shyamalan.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of comparisons, and this is such a terrible movie that if you see or read somebody defending it, you can instantly discount their opinion on anything ever. That's what a Rorschach we're looking at here.
That's too bad. That is really too bad, because I actually did want to see the movie. I haven't heard from anyone who said that they really liked it. The movie itself. Coming in at number 3, The Conjuring, Last Rites is still hanging in there. Brought in another $12.2 million. Worldwide, it's $400 million on a budget of like $4. Amazing.
Those movies are fun.
No, they may be. I'm just saying the ROI on those movies is, the multipliers is ridiculous.
Always is on horror films.
Downton Abbey, the grand finale, came in at number 4. Don't care. We'll never see it.
Well, that really seems to me like your kind of movie, Mom.
No. Coming in at number 5, a movie I did finally get around to seeing, The Long Walk. Yeah.
You didn't care for it?
It was okay. I took your review into account, and put it this way, without giving too much away, these guys are walking hundreds of miles and somehow finding a way to sleep, to have energy to never shut the F up, and they're talking all the way through. And, I was taken a little back by the walking while defecating.
Well, you got to go.
I know, and I get it. I mean, that's the realism part of it. It's just, there's a...
Wait, they're allowed to sleep?
Well, they kind of... Sort of,
sleepwalking.
A couple of the contestants in this grueling contest sleep while they're walking. Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to see this.
Right. If you really want to believe that, I don't know anyone could have kept up that pace for the amount of mileage that they're putting in.
You're aware this is a fantasy, right?
No, I get that.
It's
but
not a documentary.
The reason I say that is because when I'm on the treadmill, I'm doing my walking.
Yes, and you've never pooped on it?
No, I have
never
not.
once.
But I set it for 3 miles an hour, so I know exactly the speed they're walking.
And you've never dozed off either.
I've never dozed off, and I sure as hell would not be able to keep that pace for some 300 miles.
Like 5 days we're talking about.
Right. It's unbelievably laughable in that regard.
Well, that's why people are continually being executed, because they can't maintain that pace. Were you paying attention to what you watched?
I was paying attention. I'm saying they all would have died within the first 4 hours of the first day.
Well, that would have been a short movie, wouldn't it?
I know. None of these are trained athletes. They're all like wearing hiking boots and stuff.
But they're desperate. The desperation is a key aspect of the plot.
No, they weren't. I don't want to get too specific, but a lot of them were not there because they were desperate. One was there trying to write a book or make a movie or some stupid stuff like that.
Well, I liked it better than you did.
Oh, you're just wrong.
Wait, so they're living in a world where this U.S. government says, yes, you can walk a bunch of young men for 300 some miles?
No, there's like a civil war or something. They don't give you all the specifics. And then this is like a sort of like a nationalism pride thing where these single men, for the most part, they walk to show their pride, and if you're the last one standing, you get a whole lot of money, supposedly.
So it's the Hunger Games.
They grant your one wish of whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you're the lone survivor,
kind of
the Hunger Games, but walking.
But
that's
not as ingenious as that.
Yeah, there's nothing entertaining about that.
The odds were never in their favor.
Boo!
You showed me.
Horoscope when we come back.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Sagittarians, Scorpios, Virgos, Aquarians.
Stop the music! Stop the music! Oh, I thought we just got raptured. Is everyone still here?
Still here.
Twala, you still out of here? Twala, where are you?
No. I'm here.
Is Daniel still there? Someone check on Daniel. Make sure he didn't get raptured. Because if he got raptured and I didn't get raptured.
Well, the video's still up.
Yeah, the video's still, but he may not be there.
No, he's running it. Wait, Daniel, come in here.
No.
So we can see you.
Daniel's not responding.
He's not.
So if that means he got raptured and I got left here. Ooh, that's not cool. We're on rapture watch. Daniel.
Maybe they're doing it alphabetically.
Oh, snap.
I heard him laugh in the back with that one.
Okay, so that means he's still here.
Okay, Daniel's alive. All right.
Start the music. I don't know if we're going to get to the actual horoscope. Let's start the music one more time. KFI, Later with Mo Kelly. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's Rapture Watch on Later with Mo Kelly. So if the rapture should happen to come, we'll be the first to tell you. Or we won't. One way or the other, you'll find out because we're on Rapture Watch. So we're like really, really over, so we don't have any time to read anybody's horoscope.
Oh.
Okay, Mark, you're Gemini. I'll read yours.
Okay.
You talk to everyone but listen to no one.
Oh, well, let's have the rest of it.
Charming? Absolutely. Witty? Without question. But for all your social butterfly energy, Gemini, you have a hard time actually connecting. You flit from conversation to conversation like you're sampling snacks at a party, never staying long enough to truly nourish or be nourished. Deep down, I think you're scared of being known because being known means being vulnerable. And being vulnerable, that's not in your script.
This is the first true one you've ever read.
Try staying still with someone long enough to be understood.
Wow. You're blowing my mind, man.
Dr. Sam, what's your...
Taurus.
I can't find out where this is. All right, here it is. Taurus. You cling to comfort like it's your birthright. Security is your sacred word, but let's be real, Taurus. Sometimes it's just stubbornness. Wearing a cozy sweater. You resist change, not because it's bad, but because it asks you to be uncomfortable. And you hate being uncomfortable more than anything. But growth doesn't happen in your favorite chair. It happens when you leave the house, emotionally, spiritually, sometimes literally. Your comfort zone isn't a fortress. It's a cage.
You know, look at how I dress. I am a creature of comfort.
No, I am too. I'm a creature of comfort and habit. Twala, you're Scorpio. You confuse control with intimacy. Scorpio, you feel things so deeply it scares you. So instead of letting people in, you monitor them, test them, play emotional chess just to see who flinches first. Here's the hard truth. Control is not the same as closeness.
Damn.
Guardedness isn't power. It's fear in disguise. You crave loyalty, but you sabotage it every single time, assuming betrayal is inevitable. Trusting someone doesn't make you weak. It makes you human.
Hey, stop. That's a little too real.
It's like they did a mind meld with him.
Yeah.
Stop attacking us.
Here's Sagittarius. This is me. You run from anything that looks like commitment. You love your freedom, your wild, untamed spirit, your no one can hold me down energy. But Sagittarius, not every form of structure is a prison. Not every deep bond is a threat to your autonomy. The truth, you often run, not because you're adventurous, but because you're terrified of staying, of sitting with real emotion, of witnessing someone else's pain without fleeing the scene. Freedom means nothing if you're too afraid to be present.
I think you like to be held down.
I just like to be held.
Stay out of the news booth.
Rapture Watch, we're still here.
I can't leave. All my stuff's here.
Well, if you get raptured, you'll find some stuff on the other side.
No, I like my stuff here.
Well, that's not how the rapture works.
Oh, okay.
Mark, milk and honey, rivers of it.
Adults shouldn't
Streets
drink milk.
paved with gold.
Listen to me. No matter what RFK Jr. says, adults should not drink milk, especially not raw milk.
Well, at least he can pronounce milk.
Acetaminophen.
What was that?
Ass at a minimum.
Is that? Oh,
That's at a minimum.
well,
Acetaminophen.
who can't get behind that?
Oh boy. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere now. iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.